Greetings from the Mackle Learning Academy. This video will help you complete the Suitability Assessment Form, or in short, the SA form, which is now mandatory when submitting fresh sales. At first glance, this new requirement by the Securities Commission appears daunting. I believe, however, it will be a great help in aiding all Mackle mutual advisors better heed one of Mackle's 7 principles of ethics, specifically professionalism. If approached with the right attitude, this SA form is a great leap forward for our industry. When used properly, it will enhance the professionalism and image of Mackle's unit trust advisors. This is because this SA form helps us place investors' interests first. I believe that through its mandatory use throughout Malaysia, mere product pushing will fade away in time and be replaced by process-based guidance for our clients. This new form is in line with the way Mackle chooses to carry out its business as a UTMC, or Unit Trust Management Company. Those of you who have attended the 2-day Mackle 6-step process signature course will attest to this. We knew this day was on the horizon. Well, now it's come. So let's find out when we need to conduct a suitability assessment. The short answer is whenever a new or an existing investor wishes to invest in a fund he or she has never invested in before. But are there times when we do not need to conduct a full suitability assessment? The answer is yes, and they are as follows. When an existing investor tops up an existing fund using cash or by increasing his standing instruction with the bank or with EPF funds, then no SA form is required. Number 2, when the investor is an accredited investor, for example, someone like Mr. Wong Win Choi, who holds a Capital Market Services License or CMSL, then only the first page of the SA form needs to be filled. Number 3, when the investor is a high net worth entity, according to official guidelines, which you may check with the Mackle Mutual HQ, then no SA form needs to be filled out. However, please note that a high net worth individual, meaning a high net worth human being, must fill out the entire form. Let's now look at the form in its entirety, and I will take care to focus on the more complicated areas. I recommend you watch this video repeatedly until you are fully conversant with every section of this streamlined 4-page form.
This is the SA form, and we will now go through it in its entirety and explain each section and its objectives. This is basically step 2 of the Mackle 6-step process. A. Know your investor process. This is pretty straightforward. Asking the customer's income should not be difficult as the range is quite broad. Why is this information necessary? For one, this information allows us to know our customer better. Also, it is in accordance with the Anti-Money Laundering Act, or AMLA, requirement of practicing Know Your Customer rule. For instance, if a 45-year-old investor indicates an income of above 300,000 ringgit annually and finally makes a lump sum investment of, say, 300,000 ringgit, we have no reason to be suspicious of where that money came from. Asking for the customer's experience in unit trust investments will give us an idea of how much risk he or she can take. If a customer indicates more than 5 years' experience, he or she will know the ups and downs of unit trust prices. Investors' needs analysis. This is essentially step 2 of the Mackle 6-step process. 1. Investment objectives and risk profile. Objective of investment. This is straightforward. However, can an investor indicate more than one objective? No. There should be only one objective per account. If he or she would like to plan for retirement and education, open 2 accounts, and remember, 2 SA forms are required. Or simply opt for wealth accumulation as a single goal. Targeted amount. You can either just ask the investor or get it from the Mackle planners. Period of investment and product expectation are straightforward and will also give you an indication of which portfolio of products to recommend. Risk profile. Those of you who have attended the Mackle 6-step process program will know that 3 factors determine the strategic asset allocation model for the investor at the time of his or her investment. The investor's risk profile, investment time horizon, and the market outlook at the pertinent time. They will also know that asset allocation is meaningless if there is no rebalancing exercise, and they will have learned when to rebalance. Notwithstanding this, there will be times they may do a tactical rebalancing move, but eventually will revert to the strategic model. As such, when you determine your client's risk profile is moderate and the allocation model is 60% equity, 20% bond, and 20% money market, it does not mean you have to stick to the 60-20-20 model all the time, as long as you eventually move back to this model. And when the need to change the original model comes about, such as when the investor no longer needs to take as much risk, simply carry out a fresh suitability assessment. 2. Financial situation. Some clients may be a little hesitant to provide these details as they may be wary of people knowing about their assets, especially the inland revenue. Assure them these details will remain with MACL, and the reason for asking all this is in their interests, so they don't overextend themselves financially. For net personal assets, just tick the appropriate box. There's no need to ask for proof. Existing investment over net personal assets. This means all kinds of investments as a percentage of the value stated in the first question. Regular financial commitment. This may take a bit of time, so be patient. C. Recommendations section. Portfolio of products recommended by Unit Trust Advisor. If you are recommending products, tick this section. If you put the client's investment in the same ratio as that in B1, then no remarks are necessary. However, if you decide to vary your allocation from that stated in B1, you will need to justify your action. For example, your client's risk profile is moderate and thus his equity portion should be 60%. But let's say you decide to increase that to 80% in equity. You will then need to say why. To avoid any dispute, you might consider getting your client to sign off on any variation from the strategic asset allocation. Portfolio of products not recommended. If you are not recommending any products for whatever reason, tick one or more of the following. 1. Does not match investor's risk profile and needs. 2. Investor decided to select own funds or portfolio. 3. Insufficient information provided by investor to make recommendation. 4. An execution-only transaction when no recommendation is made. If you've ticked box 3, make sure the investor ticks item 4 under acknowledgement and declaration. The date undertaken refers to the date you met with the investor and when he or she decided to invest. In the remarks column, write down any notes you believe are important for future reference. Congratulations! You've now successfully completed the suitability assessment form. Remember to make a copy for your client, or better yet, 2 copies, one for your client file and another for you to give to your client at the next opportune time. Happy selling, the MACL way.
Thank you for watching this guiding video from the MACL Learning Academy. I wish you the very best in building a sizable unit trust business with MACL Mutual over the next few years or even decades. You might like to watch this video again and fill out a test version of this essay form for yourself before approaching clients with it. Please know that David Ng and I always look forward to seeing the most motivated MACL Mutual advisors in our signature 2-day M6SP course, which will from now on also include enhanced explanations on specific sections of this new essay form. If you have any questions, please contact the Advisor Service Center or your respective branch managers. Happy selling professionally, very professionally. Thank you.